Diogenes the Cynic, also known as Diogenes of Sinope, was a Greek philosopher and one of the founders of Cynicism. Born in Sinope, an Ionian colony on the Black Sea coast of Anatolia, around 412 or 404 BC, Diogenes lived a life that was as controversial as it was influential. He moved to Athens, where he quickly gained a reputation for his ascetic lifestyle and his sharp, often humorous criticisms of societal norms. Diogenes believed that virtue was better revealed in action than in theory, and that the purpose of life was to live in virtue, in agreement with nature. His philosophy emphasized self-sufficiency, shamelessness, and freedom from societal norms. He used his simple lifestyle to criticize the values and institutions of what he saw as a corrupt society. Diogenes left behind a legacy of radical thoughts that were later adopted by the Stoics, who admired his emphasis on living in accordance with nature. But what really brings Diogenes to life are the vivid stories and anecdotes that perfectly capture his unique character and philosophy. One of the most famous stories involves Diogenes carrying a lantern in the daytime. When asked why he was doing this, he replied, "I am looking for an honest man." This act was a critique of the moral corruption he perceived in society, suggesting that honest men were so rare that one needed a lantern to find them even in broad daylight. Another well-known anecdote is his encounter with Alexander the Great. When Alexander visited Corinth, he sought out Diogenes, who was sunbathing. Alexander stood before him and said, "I am Alexander the Great." Diogenes, unfazed, responded, "And I am Diogenes the Cynic." Alexander then asked if there was anything he could do for him. Diogenes replied, "Yes, stand out of my sunlight." This showed Diogenes' disdain for material wealth and power, emphasizing his self-sufficiency. Diogenes lived in a large ceramic jar, or pithos, rather than a conventional house. This demonstrated his rejection of material possessions and his commitment to living a simple, ascetic life. In another story, when Plato defined a human being as a featherless biped, Diogenes plucked a chicken and brought it into Plato's academy, proclaiming, "Here is Plato's human." This forced Plato to change his definition with the addition of "with broad, flat nails." Diogenes once saw a man preparing for a lavish dinner party and told him, "If you ate simpler food, you wouldn't need all these preparations." Later, at the same party, Diogenes was seen gnawing on a raw chicken leg, commenting on the unnecessary complexity of civilized life. Diogenes would often beg for food and money, even from statues, to demonstrate the futility of asking for help from people who were unwilling to give. When asked why he did this, he replied, "I am practicing failure." He was also known for his shamelessness. One story tells of him urinating on a person who insulted him. When reprimanded, he replied, "If only I could as easily defend against his slander as I can against his insult." By this, Diogenes meant that while it was easy to physically respond to an insult, it was much harder to counter the damage caused by malicious gossip and false accusations. These anecdotes illustrate Diogenes' sharp wit, his commitment to living a life of virtue in accordance with nature, and his disdain for the superficial aspects of society. Diogenes the Cynic stands out as a truly remarkable figure in ancient Greek philosophy. His unconventional life and bold teachings challenged the societal norms of his time, presenting a radical vision of living in harmony with nature. Even today, his legacy continues to inspire those who strive for a life of virtue and simplicity. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life and philosophy of Diogenes. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating insights into the world of ancient philosophy. Until next time, keep questioning and stay curious.